3 years ago, the miracle of 88 occurred, where all 88 passengers of the spaceplane Orion reportedly survived during the emergency crash landing of the spaceplane. The spaceplane Orion crash lands without any reported casualties among its 88 passengers, regarding the incident as a miracle. During the ordeal, a mysterious being appears before the passengers, singing a tune. The event is referred to as a miracle, but as a result, the spaceplane was no longer seen by the public as a safe way to get to space, and a need for another safer way arose. 3 years later, Academy City nears the completion of the space elevator capable of bringing people into space without the need for spacecraft called Endymion. Talma, Kamijo, and Index are enjoying their day out together and going to eat. Looking around her surroundings, Index sees images of the Great Tower nearing its completion and asks Talma about a space elevator. Talma comments on Index's perfect memory, as how she could forget the many times they have seen it during the past few weeks. Index then asks what a space elevator is, to which Talma explains that it is an elevator that allows one to go to outer space without the need for rockets or space shuttles. Index is amazed and compares it to the Tower of Babel of old, making a comment that side of science is trying to make the Tower of Babel a reality. Suddenly, they overhear playing and see that a girl, Arisa Mago, is busking on the streets. Here, both of them were enchanted by her music. Meanwhile, in some family restaurant, Kazari talks to Makoto about the history of the construction of the Endymion, about how after the miracle of 88 the spaceplane program was frozen, and how the space elevator program went into full swing. Kazari has only admiration for it. Satan Ruiko, who is with them, is listening to Arisa's music, which attracts Misaka Makoto's attention. Satan makes her listen to a song and Kazari searches up a video of her on the net, and Makoto indicates that they have met before. Their peaceful conversation is rudely interrupted by the appearance of Shirai Kuroko and her antics. After the performance, only Talma and Index remain from her audience. Arisa sees them and introduces herself. As she moves toward them, she trips over a wire from her equipment and falls over Talma. Enchanted by her singing, Talma assumes that she is a telepath, while Index is surprised that she did not use any magic on it. Arisa tells him that she is a level 0 Esper. Arisa tells Talma that being a level 0 bothered her once, but now she is thankful for it, as because she had nothing else, she could do whatever she could to be able to sing. She later says that she wants to sing in a large place with a lot of people. She dreams to be a songstress. While hanging out with them, Arisa gets a message that she has passed the audition. Her song has been chosen to be the campaign song for Endymion. To celebrate this, Index asks Talma to treat them to dinner. And so the day ends with Talma carrying Arisa's equipment, saying that as a level 0 as well, he will support her dreams. Index supports as well, and Talma comments that Index too should work hard for her dreams, assuming Talma insulted her. They start to argue but are stopped by Arisa, who cries a song that does not have any words. She tells that she is still writing them, thanking Talma and Index for the day, and says she will let them know when she's going to have her debut concert. Later at night, they are suddenly attacked by Steel Magnus and the witches from the Church of England named Marie Spearhead, Malabath Blackball, and Jane Elves. Talma pushes the girls back into safety as the witches combine their powers to defeat him. Unscratched, Talma demands to know who they are and why they are here. Steel Magnus appears. He is their teacher, and they are his apprentices. Talma shouts towards him, confused by the events that have unfolded. But Steel doesn't listen, calls out his magic name, and engages Talma in battle. Steel orders the witches to secure the target, which Talma realizes would be Arisa. The magicians encounter the Black Crow Unit, a private security organization led by Shudora Sequenzia. Another fight takes place between Steel's forces and Shudora Sequenzia's forces, the Black Crow Unit. Kanzaki Kaori appears in the distance, telling them to withdraw. She comes down towards them, and Shudora battles with her. Kanzaki uses steel wires, but they do not affect the machine, and thus she withdraws and tells Steel to come along with his students. Talma, however, calls toward him, asking why they attacked Arisa. And as they leave, Steel states that she could bring a war between the magic and science side. Talma tries to ask for more information, but they have already gone. Talma talks to Shudora and demands to know who they are, to which the girl says that they are on a special mission to maintain order within Academy City. Talma does not understand what it has anything to do with Arisa, and asks if she is an enemy or an ally. Shudora, however, simply warns Talma to stay away from her, for he will surely die if he gets any more involved. Arisa has a dream amongst the passengers of the Orion space plane, singing a tune holding a unique blue bracelet in one hand. She awakes from the shock of the dream, where she is greeted by Index and Talma. Arisa then speaks of powers that are not of science and tells them that are of it as well. She tells that her power appears when she sings and laments that it is perhaps her power that draws people towards her and not her song after all. but Talma and Index dissuade her, much to Eris's thanks. She deems that if her singing brings pain to others, she should stop despite the call of her heart. He offers Erisa to stay with him and Index in his dorm until her performance. Talma tells her that he will help her find a safe way to sing. Meanwhile, Shudora returns shortly to her living quarters and meets the CEO of Orbit Portal Company named Ladili Tangleroad. She tells Ladili of the unusual powers of the enemies she had come upon. She then asks who Erisa is after going to the trouble of saving Erisa for her, though she replies that she can fight even without knowing. With that, the conversation ends with Ladili telling her to continue protecting Erisa. After dinner, Erisa speaks of her contract and photo shoot tomorrow, to which due to extenuating circumstances, Talma will not be able to attend because he needs to take supplementary lessons, and asks Erisa if she can find a reliable person. The next day Erisa meets up with Makoto and her friends as they escort her to her audition, apparently Makoto being the reliable person Erisa thought about. Erisa pays no mind to the vast number of people Makoto brought along. While going to the shoot, Kazari speaks of the Orbit Portal Company as the reason for the Orion crash, as well as for the space elevator, telling of how it became bankrupt but then went back up after being bought. Mikoto Misaka and her friends who are accompanying Erisa to a promotional performance held at a mall performed as backup dancers. Talma also arrives at the mall to check up on Erisa, and discovers Mikoto is with them as well. He however sees a familiar figure, Shudora cloaked in black and in the crowd. Distressed by this, Talma follows her underground. During the event, Talma witnesses a battle between Shudora and a mysterious male automaton. Talma also joins the battle and learns that several bombs have been planted. The automation set out the explosive and destroyed the stage. Mikoto protects Erisa and everyone else, which seems impossible at the moment. But a miracle happens again, leaving everyone unscathed by the fallen debris. He then learns from her about her inability to process music and her disbelief in miracles. This surprises Talma and apologizes. Shiwachura then introduces herself to him and then asks why he is apologizing as she is satisfied with who she is. She tells Talma that because of her disability, she will not be led astray by songs or the word miracle. Later at night, Erisa explains to Talma her memory loss over the past 3 years. As Talma meets up with Madoharu Tsuchimikato and Kaori, who believed in the possibility of Erisa being a saint. Madoharu says that regardless of what she is, Academy City will want to find an anatomical explanation for her natural ability and utilize it, specifically Ladili. Later, Erisa and Index celebrate her upcoming performance at the Endymion at a local family diner, where Erisa hands Index the lyrics to the song she promised she would sing with her. Unknown to them, Marie, one of the magicians serving under Steele, is disguised as one of the waitresses. Marie, along with her 2 partners, kidnaps Erisa and disables Index, making a getaway in a car with Steele. Talma receives a call from Index, and they discover that Erisa has been abducted. Shudora learns of Erisa's abduction from Crow 4 by Steele, and the others again. She then prepares for battle. In her mobile weapon, she and his unit catch up to Steele in a car on a highway. Steele notices them and they prepare for battle. With their cloaks deactivated, the Black Crow's machines make their move. Shudora and the Black Crow unit fight Steele and his group while they try to escape. Steele explains to Talma about the Endymion being a makeshift Tower of Babel, which could be turned into a magical device with the combination of a saint's power. Shudora, meanwhile, listens to their strange conversation but is then contacted by Ladili, stating that Anti-Skill is on the move and that she must leave. Shudora takes Erisa and Steele tries to attack, though she screams to stay back. Talma tries to plead with her, but she does not heed his words, telling him that her business has nothing to do with him. Shudora captures Erisa and brings her to Ladili. Ladili arrives and mentions how the both of them were fated to cross paths. She repeats the story of the miracle of 88 but tells that there was one person who died, and that is Shudora's father. She looks over at Erisa and states in that incident, a girl appeared out of nowhere in the spaceplane and performed a miracle, and refers to Erisa as that girl. Shudora learns that Ladili killed her father named Daedalus Sequentia, who was revealed to be the only casualty of the Orion incident without public knowledge, and stabs her, but Ladili remains alive and orders her 2 automatons to capture Shudora. As Erisa is forced to sing an Endymion to activate a large magic circle above Earth, Talma and Index travel to space with Kaori's help. Shudora also makes her way up after being rescued by her comrades. She confronts Ladili, who sought Erisa's power to break her curse of immortality. Still, the ensuing battle with her automatons causes a crack in the space station, which would inevitably collapse and fall towards Earth. Erisa sings to protect the visitors present while Shudora attempts to stop her, but Talma confronts her. Index confronts Ladyley while Makoto, Accelerator, and Steel destroy some explosive bolts to purge Endymion from the ground. Talma uses his Imagine Breaker on Shutora, causing her to remember how Arisa was born out of her wish to save everyone on the plane even at the cost of those important to her. Arisa and Shutora then sing together, combined with Index's work, to break Ladyley's spell, stopping Endymion from falling onto Earth and merging the two as one. In the aftermath, Talma and Index can hear Arisa's song off in the distance. And that's all for today, guys. Stay tuned to get more new videos. Stay safe and keep watching.